And we live. Hey, that was the bro Constantine on an airplane flying somewhere, starting us off today. Hey, it's good to see everyone. My name's Terry or Matua T. I am your host for today. I am the new Pathways Development Advisor. Been a few times, I still don't know my role. For TC, and I help kids transition from school into the world of life, like what they want to do. That's my plan is to try help them into that. It's good to have our brother on today. We will invite him into the stream right now. Sup, Con? How are you, bro?
Good, brother. How are you?
Yeah, all good. Hey, don't be nervous.
The audio, man. That was good.
From the south. You're from the south. Myself is from the south. Hey, now it's good to have you on, bro.
Cheers, bro.
Maybe we'll start with some quick fire questions. Hey, if you're listening and you're TC students, ask some questions in the comments and we'll put those up for our brother over here to answer. He's going to share about his history in at Tangaroa College and what he done when he left school. I would like to know what he's been up to as well, so it's going to be a good time. But hey, we'll start off with these 5 questions. First answers that come to mind, and then we'll get into the rest of the show, So, my man.
Sounds good, brother.
So, what is your name?
Constantine.
Constantine.
Con is what they kind of refer to me at TC, actually. So, Con for short. But these days, I prefer Constantine. Sounds better.
Yeah, sounds professional. Well, Mr. Zombos.
Exactly, brother.
Mr. Zombos. Cool. What primary and intermediate did you go to?
I actually grew up in Glenfield on the shore initially, so I went to Tangaroa Primary School, and then I went to Waira Intermediate, and then I moved out south when I was 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a shore boy / south boy.
yeah. Oh, Jersey Shore. Yeah. Man, I'm glad we came out enough. We better. Me. How many siblings?
4 sisters. 1 twin sister who went to Tangaroa College as well, and 3 older sisters.
Yep.
And they all went to different colleges.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Culture?
Yeah. My mum's Samoan. She was born in Samoa. Grew up in Auckland. And my dad, he's Greek Australian, born in Australia. His parents were actually born in Greece, actually, but they moved to Melbourne, I think, in like the 30s, 40s. So Greek Samoan.
Greek Samoan.
Bit of a strange mix, I know.
Yeah. That's a good mix. Yeah. I'm glad you see Greek first. No, those are cool, man. What years were you at TC?
2000 to 2004. So a long time ago now.
Yeah. 4 years over there.
Was that 20 years ago? Holy cow. Yeah, 5 years. I did all 5 years.
Oh, yeah, so year 9
to
yeah. Oh,
year 9 to year 13, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, forgot about the forms. Cool. Favorite subject?
Back at high school was maths. Now it's
yeah.
science, but I prefer maths back in high school.
With Mr. Naidu? Was it with Mr. Naidu?
Yeah, yeah, Mr. Naidu.
You fool!
Is he still there?
Yeah, no, he's still there, bro. He's still the same.
Oh, man, far out.
Yeah, I just started back there, so I want to try to catch up with him and see if he's saying you fool. Hey, if you're still at school and you're let us know if he's still saying you fool. Because we're all fools back then.
Yeah.
Cool.
He says other things, but I won't say it.
Favorite teacher?
Depends who's watching. I guess the teacher that had the biggest impact on me was Miss Papa, and the reason for that was there was a careers day back in 3rd form, so I got chosen. I think there was a few of us that went to art flying school, which is where I ended up actually, and they did like a kind of a careers day. I don't know if they do it anymore, but I spent the day there, and there was like an instructor that kind of talked through basically the process of how to what subjects to choose to become a pilot, and then what the process is like after high school. And then they actually took us up for a flight after that. And one of the instructors that took us up actually gave us a turn at the controls. And I remember I remember it vividly. He told me I was a natural, so that was enough to kind of give me a boost of confidence.
It's awesome. So from
so that was really helpful. I hope they're still doing that, because that was, I think that was it turns that goal or dream into a reality.
So before that, you did it. You had no idea about being a pilot. You didn't want to be a pilot or anything.
I expressed that interest actually quite early. I was like 6 or 7. I told my mum that I wanted to be a pilot. It was just an idea, like a lot of things as a kid. You just come up with these random ideas, but it kind of stuck. And I expressed the interest to Miss Papa. And I think it was Miss Tapu as well that I expressed interest to, and that kind of led into my subject choice in high school as well.
Awesome, bro. Well, rest in peace, Miss Papa. Very good careers advisor back then. She passed away a few years ago. Man, it's crack up because when I thought I saw her, because she's got a twin knee. So, hey, Miss Papa, bro. It's the wrong Miss Papa. It's not the one we knew. Oh, no, you don't even know me. It must have happened. But yeah, rest in peace, Miss Papa. You're awesome. But it's good to know about their careers day. I'm not too sure if they do it. I know they go to a couple places, but I don't know about the pilot, the Ardmore stuff. So, bro, I'm gonna look into that and try and make it happen for our kids. Exposing them at a young to that stuff, and one tattoo might turn into a career. That's probably what happened to you. You still had the idea, but that tattoo made you sink into that.
Yeah, totally. I think for a lot of PIs, or a lot of people from South Auckland, not being exposed to people that have maybe gone down that career path, like a lot of the pilots that I fly with, their uncle or their auntie were pilots, so they already had, it wasn't just something that they had heard about. They knew about it. They'd been around planes, so having that kind of exposure is good. It's good for kids.
Yeah, definitely. That's true. That's not normal. So I don't know no pilots, do I? No, I don't. Like, that's the thing. Yeah, like, it's not norms to us. But it's good that we're creating those with yourself and other people going into different spaces. We're creating the norm for our students to look into. Like, pilots are definitely a career pathway now. Hey, we'll get into our first question. And we're going to these photos as well. So I'll open up this. So when you were at TC, what did you want to be? So you already spoke about it. So their careers, they definitely opened.
Yeah, I had a few goals. Like, so being a pilot was definitely at the top of my list. But I had other ideas, I guess, as well. Like any other teenager. I like sports as well, but I realized I didn't really like getting injured, so I kind of took the academic route instead.
Clever man.
So I focused more on my so I focused more on my academics. But I was quite lucky because I kind of already had an idea of what I wanted to do quite young, so that helped. But not everyone has that luxury, Like, some people get through high school and still don't really know. But it's a journey, and a lot of the things that I wanted in high school, I don't want now. You kind of evolve as the time goes, but it's important, I guess, just to make sure you've got goals. As long as you're looking forward and kind of progressing towards something, that's the main thing. But yes, it was a pilot.
Good on you, bro. From Marshy, Connor's the man, Mr. Marsh.
Oh, sure, brother.
Working alongside that boost, man, Mr. Riley, my little
Mr. Riley, my man.
Well, he's the man. Man, he's just released another book too. Something the toa.
Ah, awesome.
Oh man, sorry, sir, but man, this guy just keeps writing, keep writing, sir. Like I definitely know kids will love that stuff. And the wagger himself,
Totally.
Tibalete,
Mr. Oh, Mr. Tietia. I love it.
Oh, good. Hey, tell us about who's in this photo. Like, what year was this, and some of the people you remember from?
I think this was 99 or 2000. I think it was the last year, actually. So this is my 7th form year. My class was, I think it was 70O. I think my memory is not great. But yeah, so a lot of these guys I'm still in contact with. Inoki next to me, so I'm on the far right down the bottom.
Yeah.
You've got Inoki on the left of me. He's into graphic design now.
Awesome.
Next to him is Varvenga. I'm not sure what he's up to. Abdul on the far left, and then on the far right, just above me, is Tama. I know he went to. He was in the Air Force. I'm not sure if he's still in the Air Force or not. But yeah, we were kind of the nerdy class at school.
No, I guess we were. Actually, remember this? Because Vainga, he was a year older, or was he the same age as you?
Oh no, he was the same age, I think.
Oh yeah. I remember the
yeah.
Guys, yeah, you definitely were nerds, bro.
We were the nerds, bro. We were the nerds. we weren't the cool guys or the sporty guys, but we I guess we took to academics. My sisters my twin sisters up the top on the far left. I'm actually at her house now. She's got 3 kids, three beautiful daughters. Yeah, so she just had her 3rd one not that long ago.
Wow.
Leai is next to her, and she used to go to our church, BBC, back in the day. She's got 5 kids now, apparently.
Has she?
So she's been busy, and she's got a law degree as well. So,
props
to her.
Yeah,
props to her for getting a degree and having 5 kids. I can barely manage one. Managing a career, but managing kids and a career, that's a good effort.
Sione up top.
So Sione up the top. He's a Nelson now. I'm still in touch with him. He runs apple farms. So he gets a lot of the workers from Tonga to Nelson and gets them into work there because New Zealanders are getting a little bit lazy.
Yeah, all good. Hey, we'll move on with some pictures there. What team was this?
This was the cricket team.
Was it?
I think so. Or was it the soccer team? I can't remember.
Because there's gloves, with those.
Soccer. Yeah, the soccer team too. Yeah. Man, it's a while ago, brother. 20 years, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, bro. I remember playing soccer once, and I would have been for one of the teams. The ball went past me, and all I needed to do was kick it into the goal, bro. Missed it. I remember that. That was bad, bro.
It's those curly feet, bro. It's those curly feet, brother. It's not your fault.
Player, not a soccer player. This guy.
Yeah. So this is so that's me on the far right. If you couldn't tell, back in the long hair days. So I think this was the year 2000, the first year actually. I was in the Samoan group for 3 years actually, from 3rd form, which is year 9 to year 12, I think. Year 9, 10, 11, sorry. But yeah, I was always up the front because they liked having the Afagasi up the front to show that he knew Samoan.
There is diversity over here.
I don't know if it worked or not because we didn't do all that well. But it was great. I really enjoyed this time. I actually learned a bit more about the culture and about the language and just the expression of dance, and which Polynesians are very good at. Yeah, Mike Siva. I'm not sure what the brother's up to now.
Oh yeah, I go church with him. No, he's doing well. He's got like 4 or 5 kids. He's right up there. He's a busy man.
Yeah.
What's with this
Yeah,
picture?
so that's me on the left. This is 7th form prize giving last year. My twin sister Kathy, and that's my beautiful mum, Eva. Yeah, so we were head boy and head girl in the last year.
I remember that. You guys were awesome.
Yeah,
man.
this was, I guess, it seems like the ending then, but it's only really the beginning. You know, you leave high school thinking that that's the ending, but your life only really begins when you leave high school. But yeah, that was a good day.
No, awesome, bro. Yeah. Last picture. What's this one?
I think that's 3rd form. That's me, junior.
Some
I
junior.
think it's a science project by the looks of it. Yeah, so junior down the bottom. He's in Brisbane now. He got into a bit of American football over there. Not too sure what he's doing for work, but yeah, he's been over there for quite a while now. But this was, I think, my 2nd year of TC.
Yo. Some old photos, even that horse still looks the same too. Still ugly, still hasn't been done
Does
up.
it?
Hopefully they change it too. Hey, we got a question over here, and I think a question too. Hey Terry, hey Con, hope all is well. Just a few questions. What subjects did you take in school to help you enhance being a pilot? And does it help being surrounded with peers who have similar goals to influence future decisions?
Oh, Michael Sopper's sister.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, all good questions. Yeah, like I said, so that careers day actually, where I went to Ardmore, the instructor kind of explained what subjects to take. He actually mentioned, I remember him saying, he's like, yeah, maths is important, but I'm not that good in maths, and I've made it. So maths is a good one, but it's not essential. Physics is also a good one. So anything to do with maths is good. So I think I chose calculus, statistics, and then physics for my last 2 years. So those 3 helps, and being around people that influence you, yeah, it definitely helps. I guess for me, going through high school, I didn't really know other pilots, so I didn't really have that person to go to. But once I got into flying, I met a lot of people and I made a lot of friends. And the mindset actually that I had at high school was making it a competition. But you realize after school, it's not a competition. You know, everyone's there to help you, and being around people that are going to help you and influence you will help you push further, and you have the same role as well, I think, to push other people further. So I contribute a lot of my success, at least getting into New Zealand, to a lot of my friends, because they helped me a lot get through the interview process, which wasn't easy actually. It was a 2-day interview process to get in. We had like a panel interview, we had a flight planning assessment, I had like a general knowledge assessment. That was just the first day. And then the second day, we had a group exercise. What else did we do? I went into a simulator, had a simulator session. And I had friends that had already been through that process, so they helped me a lot with getting through that process. I contribute a lot of my success to getting into New Zealand to them as well. Obviously, you need to put in the work, you know. But yeah, definitely being around the right people, it definitely helps.
Yeah, even back at school, because you were with nerds, that helped too. You know, like if you were with the 40 guys, you wouldn't be as academically minded as well. So it helps the actual group that you hang out with at school. Like definitely, you hang around monkeys, you're going to be a monkey.
Yeah. I met someone school student recently, actually, and he said to me he didn't understand why I would study back in high school, and he said it makes sense now. This is 20 years later. So it all starts off with good habits really early on. If you haven't started studying in school, it's all right, but start as soon as you can. Start today. Because you need to study. You need good study habits in order to get through university. Start off small if you want. 5 minutes a day, in between your TikTok and YouTube videos. Study 5-10 minutes a day, and then you can increase that. It's the same with exercise. You start off small and you progress.
That's awesome, bro. Really awesome. Hey, quick question. Where's what's your most favorite place you've been in the world? Or so far?
Ooh, there's plenty, but if I had to pick one place, it would be this place here, which is in Peru. It's called Machu Picchu. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. We basically, me and a couple of mates, we did a 5-day hike, and this is kind of where we ended up. And this spot actually is ancient construction made by the Inca people in South America. Like I think it was 2,000-3,000 years ago. But basically, the Spanish came into Peru. They killed a lot of people, but they also destroyed a lot of the construction sites. But this one, because it's in the middle of the mountains, the Spanish never found this site, so they didn't destroy it. It wasn't until I think 100 years ago, Portuguese explorer, he found this site.
Wow!
So yeah, it's amazing that they managed to construct this, 2,000 years ago. They still don't really understand how they formed the blocks and how they got the rocks up there.
Yeah.
It would have taken a while, but yeah, this is probably one of my favorite spots.
And you know how they got it up there? They had Maoris to help them take it up the top. Bro, our people spread around.
Hey, they were smart and intelligent in their own right.
Bro, they're awesome.
Still are.
Cool. So what did you do when you left school? So you definitely went into pilot school, and maybe as we run through these pictures, tell us about so you went to Ardmore. How long did you study there, and along those lines?
Yeah, so after high school, I kind of jumped straight into flight training. I did I think it was about 4 or 5 months of theory training. Actually, I didn't do too well when I first started. I failed a lot of subjects, and I actually dropped out. I dropped out for about 9 months. I started working. I worked in a labor job with a few of my mates on minimum wage, and I realized that labor work wasn't for me. So I it was actually one of my Samoan mates. He's a pilot now too. He flies as a pilot in Samoa, but he encouraged me to come back. I really wanted to come back, but I was a little bit embarrassed by the grades. But so when I went back the second time, I did a lot better. I applied myself and put in the work. Yeah, and I got through it.
Hey, quick question on that.
So I got my commercial. Yep.
Sorry, cool. Quick question. Because once we leave school, we think, man, everything's gonna be all sweet. Like we're gonna pass this, pass, be a pilot straight in New Zealand 2 years, stuff like that. But it's not like that. And it's cool that you highlighted that you failed at that time. Do you reckon the step up from school to being up to study was different, or harder?
Yeah, it was. Because a lot of it was condensed in a short period of time. Yeah, it required quite a bit of study. So I had my study habits in high school weren't too bad, but a lot of the study I'd kind of leave to the end of the year. Just to get through the exams, But in flight school, you couldn't really do that. You had to After the day was about 6-7 hours long. You'd go home. I'd study for about 3-4 hours, and then start again the next day, because they don't care if you fall behind. It's not like high school where they're trying to push you to stay up with everyone else. It's you fall behind, you fall behind.
Man.
So I managed to get through quite a bit of study for the first 6 months, but they say it during the flight training too. They're like, it's a sacrifice. You sacrifice your social life for that 6 months to get through. But once you're through, then you can go have fun. You can get your social life back. You can go work if you want. So after the 6 months, you start the flight training in the planes, and that's when the real fun happens. But you need to get through that initial study to actually get to the fun part.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, gotta play yourself. Doing that stuff. Hey, tell us about this picture.
Sorry, what's that? Sorry.
Tell us about this picture. Sorry, move my mic over.
Oh, so this was my first day of my first job in Indonesia. So after flight school, I applied for a few jobs. It took me a while, actually. It took me about close to a year to find a job after I graduated with a commercial pilot's license. So like anything with having a qualification, having that qualification's good, but a lot of jobs, they want experience. So I found it quite hard to find a job. I went for a couple of interviews, couple in NZ, and then I went for another interview in Sydney. Didn't get through, unfortunately, but this job came up through a friend of mine, actually. Went for an interview, I think it was mid-2000 or early 2010. I got put on a waiting list, actually, and then I got the nod in, I think it was July, and then I moved from Sydney to Indonesia and lived there for quite a while. But this was my first day, and I was flying this plane. So I flew this plane for about 4.5 years. But yeah, so this is where they took us, is the training department. We did about 2 months worth of training, just learning the aircraft, doing a bit of study, or doing study to kind of learn the ropes, emergency, all that kind of stuff. And then I moved out to a base as a first officer, and I moved around Indonesia for the first year, and then I was based in Borneo first, but I moved all over Indonesia.
Yep. No, that's awesome. So that was your first flying job after studying?
Yeah, so what was that, sorry?
Was that your first flying job after studying?
Yep. So that was my first flying job. So I did that for about 6.5 years. I flew a couple of types of aircraft in Indonesia, and then I applied for Air New Zealand actually all the way back in 2012. But then I got an email sent to me, and I think it was 2015, saying that asking for me to come back to Auckland for an interview with Air New Zealand. And then I got in early 2016.
Wow!
So I've been with them for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's quite a long process to get here, but the flying that you do right at the beginning is probably the most enjoyable. Because you have a lot of freedom with the small aircraft. I did a lot of travel while I was in Indonesia as well, around Southeast Asia and Europe, and went to Africa and Middle East. And then once I moved home, I went to South America and Central America. So the choice that I made to go back from that labor job back into flight school kind of allowed me to do the things that I wanted to do, which is traveling and flying.
Awesome, Barry. Really awesome. So how long after school did you get your first that job at Indonesia?
How long, sorry?
Yeah, how long did you after school? So 2004 to when you got that job with Indonesia, was that like a good 4 or 5 years?
So 2010. So that took me 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I took about a year off during that period that I left flight school and came back.
Yeah.
And then during the after the theory, I built my hours. I built my hours on and off for about 3 years, and I was working at the same time. I was working at baggage within New Zealand at that time, and then I did odd jobs. I guess just to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So about 5 to 6 years.
No, that's awesome, bro. Hey, we'll go through these photos, just because of time.
Sure.
I'm not sure whose mic that is, but yeah, we'll go through these photos. Who's this guy? Just one of your bros?
That's my brother-in-law, my older sister's brother. So this was actually back in flight training. I took them up in the aircraft that I learned to fly in. I took them around the city. Took them on a bit of a city scenic.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for our flights. Our Otara kids. One day, you can fly.
No, man, like, yeah. That's actually a good idea. If there's anyone interested in flying once things kind of calm down, I could take you in the cockpit. There's no reason why I couldn't. Yeah, so I'd be more than happy to do that.
Yeah, especially our kids. Like, again, like, just show them one thing, and then that might expand their whole horizon. Like, it might open their
just
eyes.
making it real.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like,
just making it a possibility.
A lot of our kids probably won't even jump on a plane, or haven't never jumped on a plane. Like, but to go into where the pilots, that's just inspirational, and it helps expands the mind. Like, that's one thing that I want to do with our kids: expand the mind, horizons. Like, man, there's massive world out there, and you can go get it if you want it. Like, but you have to go see it.
Yeah, 100%.
Nah, cool.
Yeah, 100%.
This picture.
This was my first year at in Indonesia, actually, in Susia, which was the company that I worked for. Yeah, I didn't fly that helicopter. We just took a photo in front of it.
Yeah, as long as it looks
the helicopter. Yeah. This was in West Papua. So I lived in West Papua for 2 years. And the president of Indonesia was actually coming to the city that I was based in. So that's why these guys here were traditionally dressed. They did kind of a similar thing to like a porphyry. They welcome the president with a traditional Papuan dance.
Yeah.
So that's why they were there, and I took the opportunity to get a photo with them.
Awesome. Let's say it was for you. They were welcoming you. So good. Is this? No, I want to say Papua, but not even. Where's this place?
Yeah. This is Timor. So not East Timor, but the western side, which is the Indonesian side. I was just on a solo mission that day, and I found these guys at practicing for a wedding.
Yeah.
So it was a restaurant, I think. I went up and asked them for a photo. Yeah, they did some kind of traditional Timorese performance at the restaurant.
Just say again, it was for you. Just say. Yeah. Hey, this is an awesome photo right here. This is in Papua.
Yeah, so this is Papua as well. Yeah. Me and another work colleague, we just went for a walk, and we found this kind of little hiking path, and all these kids decided to follow us. So they followed us for about an hour, and we're climbing the trees and getting fruit for us. And we took a bunch of photos with them. But yeah, very cool little town. So this is this is Papua as well. He's a British guy actually. So the company that I work for over there, we had a lot of expats. Because it's so hard to get that first job as a pilot, a lot of people from different countries end up moving overseas, and I think this particular company, 80% of the pilots, out of the 200 pilots, there would have been about 180 that were from different countries: New Zealand, Aussie, the UK, different parts of Europe, different parts of Africa.
And it's probably the way to get the experience that you need in order to go for the Air New Zealand and the other places you want to get to. Where you probably, would you say like majority you have to go overseas, do your time over there before trying to come back?
Yeah, so in New Zealand actually have minimum requirements that you need to get into in New Zealand first. So you actually need to go off and find other jobs first to apply. And I was lucky enough to get that job, and got some really good experience out of it.
Awesome. So these the guys you flew with, or
this? Yeah, these are other pilots that I work with in West Papua. This was Christmas Day actually. So for a lot of us, I guess, because we were away from our families, we just made the most of our situation, we decorated the house. We went to the mall, which we did here, and we put our pilot shirts on and and our Santa hats on, and got a good photo. But yeah, I guess this particular job was kind of like, in some ways, being in the army. You had a good kind of like brotherly and sisterly relationship with your work colleagues, because you're away from your family and your friends at home. So we kind of became a family.
And the cool thing,
I'm good friends.
What's that? Good thing is that they're from all around the world. Like now you got mates around the world.
Yeah, exactly. So if I want to go to, I don't know, South Africa, for example, I'll have friends there, or Italy, or Spain. I've got friends. So a lot of these guys, actually, most of these guys have left Indonesia now and are working for airlines back in their home countries. So we're all kind of in the same situation. First job out of flight school, looking to build some experience, and we kind of, I guess, we bonded over it. I've had a few guys come from I had a few come from Brazil, a couple from Hong Kong that have come and visited me in New Zealand, taken them around, and I've gone to Europe and visited a few. I went to Finland with one of my Finnish mates, and he showed me around. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome, bro. Really awesome.
Yeah.
Papua kids.
Papua again, yeah.
There goes Tupo, there goes Mashi.
Fred, I'm pretty sure I can see Fred in there somewhere.
Looks like class of 2004 now. Yourself and everyone else. All good. That's your brother-in-law again, eh?
Yeah.
What's this one?
This is in Papua as well. It's been an adventurous 6 or 10 years, I guess, now that since I left flight school. Just casually riding a whale, bro.
Casually, yeah. Man, where was that one?
The real life whale rider. This is in Papua actually. We went out on a boat. Some fishermen took me and a few other work colleagues out to a little site just off the coast, and we found these whale sharks. Yeah, we're not supposed to be touching them apparently, so it's a bit naughty. But
you're not supposed to sharks. I know sharks. You're supposed to lead them to it, but the Otara boy and you, actually, the TC. I have to. No, that's awesome photos. Man, I remember swimming with whales in Tonga.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Amazing time.
As well?
No, there were. I don't know what kind of. No, not the shark ones. The whales. Because they go breed over there. I think it's waters or something. So they breed over there, and then they go back out to sea and all of that. But man, it's awesome being in, like, you feel so small when you're with the whales.
Oh man, totally.
They can take you out.
Yeah,
No, awesome, bro. Okay. Tell us about this picture right here. So your journey, you went to Indonesia, you done that part, you done your flight school, and then in 2016 you got this.
2016, I moved home. Yeah, so now I fly regionally for Air New Zealand. So with being a pilot, it's actually quite a long process to get. In most cases, it's quite a long process to get to the bigger aircraft.
Yeah.
So this aircraft here is it's called an ATR. It's a 68 seat plane. So we fly regional New Zealand. I go to like Nelson, New Plymouth, Palmerston North, but I also connect to the bigger airports like Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, and then Invercargill, as far down south as you can go. So yeah, I've been doing this for 3 years. Thankfully, we've been the least affected by the pandemic, so I still have my job, which is fortunate for me.
Yep.
But yeah, so this in this position, in this picture here, I'm a co-pilot, but I just passed my training. I'm a captain now. I only just got through the training, but there's going to be some rescheduling in the company now with all the cuts, so I might go back to being a co-pilot again. But at least I know I can get through the training.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, the situation changed everything for New Zealand and around the world. So
massively.
And again, it'll be easy for you to step up again. Just hopefully sooner than later.
Exactly.
Man, in New Zealand, how was it to get the phone call? Hey, Con, you are now, or letter that you are now officially a pilot of Air New Zealand.
I was quite stressed out leading up to the interview. So I was in Indonesia at the time studying. I think I was doing about 3 months prep. Moved, or came back to Auckland to do the interview, and I remember as soon as the second day had finished, I got really sick. I think I think it was from all the stress. And then they called me the next day. Actually, they called me the next day in the morning, and they talk you through everything first, like all the assessments, how well you did, what you need to work on, and then she's like, yeah, you did well in this, not so well in this, and by the way, you passed. and when you're listening to her talk, I'm just kind of waiting for the news, I'm like, come on, just tell me. It was a relief, man. It was a good feeling.
Yeah, especially coming home too. Like, I think, I don't know about everyone, but a lot of people always want to come home. Like, they do their dash overseas, they do what they have to do, but coming home is kind of always the goal for a lot of people. Like, man, no place like home, especially New Zealand.
Yeah, man, and I think traveling as well, it kind of has made me realize how lucky we are. So don't complain about New Zealand. I used to complain about the Auckland weather all the time, but we've got it good. We've got it really good compared to the rest of the world,
Yeah, definitely blessed. Hey, quick question from Mr. Riley. What's something unique that Pacific people bring as pilots? That's a good question.
Oh, good question. Yeah. There are quite a few Pacific pilots actually. I flew actually my first ever co-pilot. He was at Afakasi Samoan as well, and there were 2 or 3 Samoan captains and other Polynesian captains and co-pilots that I've worked with too. So it's it's good to see. The dynamic that the Polynesians bring in general for both the cabin crew and the pilots is our ability, maybe not me so much, but for a lot of other people, not to take things so seriously. I think that's a really admirable attribute for the Pacific people is to have fun. It's so important. Life's not always about being serious. It's about having fun, enjoying yourself, having a good laugh. So I always enjoy working with the Polynesians because it's always fun, and they bring that dynamic of fun to the workplace. Still professional, obviously, but that dynamic of having fun and that sense of community that the Polynesians bring to the workplace too.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's not with other ethnicities as well, but I think it's kind of ingrained in our culture to work together and to be communal.
Yeah.
Whenever we go on overnights, for example, the Polynesian people particularly will try and get everyone together and hang out and bringing that sense of community, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely unique to our PI culture, our Māori cultures, is the communal aspect. I remember Steve Adams, he was playing basketball, and he saw one of the players, he had a tatau, so one of those Samoan, something on his leg, or a tattoo of Samoan, whatever, and he goes, "Oh, supples," and then the other guy goes, "Oh, supples." Man, but
that's awesome.
Someone's like got the same culture, you can definitely I was like, man, like you already know them for years, but it's just that the love and respect we have for each other.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And he represents New Zealand well too. He's got that kind of casual and relaxed nature and funny nature.
Oh. Get into these last couple of questions because we're going ahead of time. Was there anything you wish you had learned before leaving school? If any, if there was nothing, like you're one of the brainy guys anyway. So, but was there anything?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that learning. I used to make the excuse of, like, for example, my mum, she didn't teach me much Samoan, so I'd always use that as an excuse. Like learning in high school is only the beginning. So if you didn't learn something in high school, you can learn afterwards. But I had no idea of how to manage money. I've only learned that recently from reading books. There's so many different avenues. There's YouTube now. There's podcasts like we're doing now. There's Google. So if you need to learn something, go get it. Don't make excuses.
Yo, definitely.
I'm talking to myself here as well.
Yeah. It's just at our fingertips.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do a couple more questions, and then my last question, and then that's us. I'm just going through these. Maybe from Brandon Jackson from Moina.
What's up, brother?
Sup, Brendan. Besides realizing that the life of labor wasn't for you, because remember you done that little stint of laboring, what was another lesson you learned about yourself in that time of your life? And how did that help you in your second attempt?
Good question. I guess luckily for me, I had already developed study habits back in high school, but going through the process the first time at flight school, I realized that I needed to up that even more. So I think the thing that I kind of learned during that period that I was away is that in order to get through something, you need to study. I think that's the most important thing. And like I said earlier, anything in life is going to require study. If you've watched The Last Dance, what did Michael Jordan do? He studied the game. He's constantly learning, trying to get better. To do this podcast, you would have studied to learn how to do this. Everything requires study. So you need that would be my lesson to anyone really. To even if you finished high school and you want to upskill, study is important. And it's still possible if you've got kids and you've got a family now. It's still possible. It's a little bit harder, but it's still possible.
Do the mahi get the treats, eh? Like if you do the work. So I came up with this new phrase.
Yeah.
Do the work, get the perks. Hey. Like the mahi. Do the work, get the perks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many distractions now. That's the problem, with it's different to when I was at school. We had the TV, but now they've got, with Instagram, Facebook, and all these YouTube and TikTok, and there's all these distractions. I think setting aside some time for learning is important, even if it's just 10 minutes a day.
Yeah. Just work hard. Hey, we'll go on to our last question because of time. We're going over time, but it doesn't matter. What are some life hacks, wisdom drops for young students should know when entering the world of life? We've spoken about a few during our talk, but is there any other way, I think?
If you've got any trauma from your high school days, go get help. Or
True.
if you're dealing with any, I think in order to succeed, in order to better yourself, you need to focus on yourself first, if that makes sense. So I think mental health is important. And for a lot of men, especially PIs, we don't go out and talk about our issues. We kind of keep it bottled up, and I think over time it festers, So deal with that first, and then focus on your career, or whatever goals you have. Yeah,
I think some other stuff that you said earlier was even like who you know helps see, like the mates
100%,
you knew, like helped you get into any talent. Like glad they went through those interviews so that they could set you up for the interview. Like like who you know helps. So being kind to other people and friends with a lot of people helps.
Yeah, if anyone wants to reach out about if they're at high school and they want to reach out to me, just email me. Or hop on my Facebook and send me a message. And I'll be happy to take you to the flight school or something. I'm not working at the moment, so I've got plenty of time.
Bro, we can make something happen.
Right.
Yeah, definitely want to do some stuff like that. Let's see. So while you're not working, or Thursday, are you back? Are you back on Thursday or?
We won't be. It won't be busy for the next 6 months. I think they said I'll be working a little bit, but it'll be quiet.
Oh, so I'll put you to work then.
Yeah.
For the community, for Tangaroa College.
Happy to help out, brother.
No, that's awesome, bro. Just looking through the things. Hey, that was my last question, but I have another last question. You throwing a last question. This one. How proud are you to be from Tangaroa College?
Oh, immensely proud. Yeah. I think we're lucky at TC. Like, the teachers. I mean, in other schools they cared too, but from comparing it to my primary school days and my intermediate school days, the teachers at Tangaroa College went above and beyond. And I can list quite a few. There's Mr. Leach, who was our principal at the time. Miss Fata, Mr. Wasi, Mr. Riley. He was an advocate. Really, he had the ability to make everyone feel like they were the teacher's pet. Mr. Naidu. The list goes on. Yeah, but very, very proud.
No, that's awesome, bro. Hey, that's us, Whānau. Thank you for the time. Your time, Con, man. It's awesome. Like you're part of a lot of alumni that have put TC on the map, and being a pilot's definitely one. I don't know if there's been any other Tangaroa College pilots or that I know of, but you've definitely done Tangaroa proud, and I'm glad that you're willing to give back to.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, willing to give back to our kids and speak to them about your experiences, and definitely we put someone into that cockpit and we might get another pilot.
Yeah, man. Sure. Sure.
Hey, thank you for your time, bro. That is us, whānau.
No worries about that.
If you'd like to be on this podcast, come say, you message me on Facebook or send me an email, terryn@tangaroa.school.nz, and we'll try and make that happen. Hey, thank you for listening. We went over time, but all good. Any last words, John?
Good talking to you, brother. Yeah, so just reach out to anyone that wants a hand. I've got the time, so just send me a message on Facebook or email me. It's probably easy just to send me a message on Facebook. So yeah, do that if you need any help with anything. More than happy to help.
Thank you, bro.
Cheers, brother. Take care.
For life.
See ya.